Hi guys, I'm back again today with another reaction video, and today we're checking out another Buy Me a Coffee request, and this is the continuation of season 3 Power Rangers um history. There we go. So before we start, don't forget to subscribe, click the bell button, and let's go straight into this.
Ninjor arrives at the command center and updates the Rangers about Master Vile's hope to get the Zeo Crystal. Thousands of years ago, the people of M51 hid the Zeo Crystal in the Caves of Deception and put a defense shield around it so that only those with good and pure hearts could ever touch it. The caves lie directly beneath Rita and Zed's palace. Why? Well, as it turns out, Zed didn't actually build the palace. It was once a fortress for good, and while the palace has been corrupted by evil over the years, the defense shield for the Zeo Crystal remains intact. While Zordon is confident that Zed and Rita can't get to the crystal, because of Master Vile's own power and experience, they fear he could gain access. Made worse is the revelation that the Zeo Crystal gets more powerful over time, so basically it's a perpetual energy generator. Hot damn, this MacGuffin is awesome! Imagine if the Rangers actually had access to a power source like that. But nah, they'd never do that. Master Vile creates a new monster by, throwing up an egg. Ew. The blue globber monster, however, is pretty dang strong, able to absorb power. He also feeds the Tengas some food that increases their own strength, but that just gives them an opportunity for the Rangers to show off their new glitter armor. The globber manages to kidnap Ninjor again and absorbs his powers. In order to keep Master Vile from ever getting access to the Zeo Crystal, Tommy and Kat travel to Zed's palace so they can destroy it. The plan is for Tommy to go into the Caves of Deception and get the Zeo Crystal, while Kat distracts Rita and Zed by claiming that she wants to be evil again. Meanwhile, Billy has whipped up a toy Falcon Zord that will allow them to control the Ninja Megazord remotely without the real Falcon Zord. The globber attacks the city, and the rest of the Rangers engage it with both the Shogun Zords and the Ninja Zords. The globber is of course attacking abandoned buildings, since Angel Grove's economy is in such a poor state thanks to all of its constant karate tournaments and community cleanups, as opposed to any actual businesses beyond a juice bar. Plus, the general apathy of its citizenry last time makes me believe that the mayor of Angel Grove only wins with a few votes each time it's an election year. The Shogun Zord's power is absorbed by the globber, and the Rangers are forced to retreat into the Ninja Megazord. Zed watches Vile succeeding against the Rangers, and is naturally pissed off that after all his plans have failed, he's getting one-upped by a guy who creates monsters by vomiting up eggs. Kat arrives and tells them she wants to be evil again. To prove that she's serious about being evil, she's forced into the Revileifier, a device that will drain all the good from someone and replaces it with pure evil.
Pure evil? Pure evil.
Naturally, a very useful device like this will never be seen or mentioned again. Just like the Zeo Crystal, no doubt. Speaking of, Tommy goes down to the caves to get the crystal, since the Zeo Crystal can also be used to reverse the evil energy in Kat. Zed detects Tommy in the caves, but isn't worried because the force field, according to him, should also destroy Tommy because he was formerly evil himself. The Cave of Deceptions lives up to his name, as Tommy fights off several hallucinations and makes his way towards the crystal, the force field even taunting him a little until he reaches it. The crystal does analyze him, and while it first harms him because of his evil beginnings, it does finally read the good parts of him and allows him to take it. Tommy frees Kat as well as the Falcon Zord, teleporting away. However, things aren't going well for the other Rangers. While the Falcon Zord does help things, the globber survives the finishing move of the Ninja Mega Falcon Zord and incorporates parts of Ninjor into itself. The Shogun Megazord's powers start to restore, aiding in the fight. However, because the monster is tied into Ninjor, he feels the attacks inflicted on the monster. The Rangers fear defending themselves, and the Zords fall, their energy fully absorbed by the globber and the Zords being sent away somewhere. The globber proceeds to absorb even more of their power, and not even their magic glitter can help them. With the Zords down, Vile is able to take the Zeo Crystal while the Rangers retreat back to the command center. The rest of the evil forces celebrate, though Zed mopes about the fact that Vile succeeded where he failed. Vile, being the notoriously evil force that he is, commandeers the juice bar so that he can throw a party.
What?
This is just surreal.
So he can throw a party? Was this a costume party?
Party king and dancing fool! Let's mumble! Dance, humans, dance! Is this thing working?
Zordon gives our heroes a high energy surge from the morphing grid to help restore the Rangers' power, but it'll take some time for them to fully return. Half the team goes to check out the party, since, hey, evil forces are throwing a party and you might as well enjoy, while the others work on trying to locate where Vile sent the Zords. And indeed, they discovered that the Zords were sent to the M51 galaxy, and the Rangers teleport there, because not only can they be sent to different planets, apparently it's just a hop and skip to another galaxy, to try to free the Zords and destroy the Zeo Crystal. Once inside, the Rangers use their power coins to break Vile's link to the crystal and restore power to the Zords, returning them to Earth. The Globber mutates even further using the power he stole from the Zords, but the Rangers decide they have to risk harming Ninjor by finally defeating it. Ninjor manages to restore his own power and he escapes, joining the Rangers to fight both Globber and Master Vile. This battle is friggin' epic. Multiple Zords and monsters, plus a new configuration for the Zords, as the Falcon Zord joins with the Shogun Megazord to blast Master Vile. While Vile survives the assault, he retreats and decides to stick around to help defeat the Rangers in his awesome Skull spaceship.
Why is this episode this season reminding me of like a crazy Halloween party?
The Rangers decide to break the crystal into pieces and scatter them throughout time so that Vile can never get them. And so we'll never see it again. While the metallic armor crap was stupid, this was a pretty solid three-parter, resolving or referencing several past storylines while starting the one that would end the season. There was one more filler episode between this and the next multi-parter, and really its only purpose is to once again remind us of Bulk and Skull's musical talent.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, never mind. Yeah. Oh, thank God.
See? They rock so hard they blow up their own equipment. Vile's next plan is to use a mystical orb, the Orb of Doom, because ancient forces really suck at naming things, to reverse the Earth's rotation and make it spin back in time, using the same kind of bogus science from the first Superman movie when it comes to Earth's rotation, somehow meaning something when it comes to time. Zed, of course, points out that he's done this plan already and it failed, but that doesn't discourage Master Vile. The Rangers are too late to stop the Orb of Doom from being planted, and time reverses, reverting the Rangers to children as before. Unlike last time, however, they retain their memories of being Power Rangers, but they can't morph. In the wake of their apparent victory, Zed, Rita, Goldar, and Rito arrive on the planet and grow.
Can we have a remake of Power Rangers?
Now begins a plot that some people have called a mini-series because the theme song changes. The Shout Factory DVD even separates it into its own case. But really, it still counts as part of Season 3, the Alien Rangers saga. The kids are unable to contact Zordon and try to reach the command center on foot.
I want to watch this episode specifically.
However, before that, we get a series of antics involving the kids getting taken in by the police to protect them, and all I can say is that I'm still in shock that the city has any cops. Oh, and get this, the command center has been out of power because it's been returned to an earlier point in time along with the world. And it turns out the power was shut off because the console was unplugged at the time so they could use a vacuum cleaner. I'm dead serious.
All this time, our power outage has been due not to a sinister force, but to a simple household appliance? Is that true?
I'm afraid so, Zordon.
That's it. I'm starting work on Alpha 6. You know, it's not every TV show that can alternate between giant evil forces annihilating a city and the antics of a subpar 50s sitcom. No wonder Zordon can be an asshole sometimes when this sort of crap is going on. Anyway, with power restored, the kids are retrieved and they hatch a plan. While the Rangers lack their powers, they're not the only Power Rangers in the universe. They send out a distress call to the Rangers from the planet Aquitar, an ocean world where...
Hey, remember Edenoi?
How about our planet? Why don't we have one?
We were there.
Wait, Edenoi? What the hell? That wasn't wiped from canon? If it hasn't, then where the hell is Count Dragon during all this crap? Ah, whatever. Anyway, they contact the ocean world Aquitar, where there are alien rangers who also got their powers from Ninjor. The Equitians answer the call and come to help. The alien rangers have some of the most annoying voices ever, with some kind of weird filter effect to simulate them as they would speak underwater, yet they use it even when out of the water, which makes it difficult to understand them sometimes.
They will be at our disposal at a moment's notice.
I'm Delphine, leader of the Alien Rangers. This is Caucus, Sestro, Orico, Pantobius.
While
This
it
is the
is
worst
irritating,
costume
considering it's a temporary
ever. Oh my
arrangement, it's
god.
ultimately fine.
It
Just
looks
I
like
wish
their
they'd
brains
scaled
have
it back a
fungi
little.
or
The Alien
something.
Rangers bring their own Zords along, also supplied by Ninjor, which raises the question
Watching
of
this
how
now
exactly
makes me
Ninjor was a
it's
legend
absurd.
according to Zordon, when apparently other Rangers knew him already. Ninjor is also absent for the rest of the series, sadly, explaining that they won't discover the temple for several years. Except this brings up the biggest problem of this storyline,
Which
the time
is
travel aspect.
oh.
I will grant the fact that the Rangers retain their memories, since the morphing grid or their powers in general could have preserved their knowledge, except then, why can't they access their powers? Zordon and Alpha could have been preserved from the time travel effects because of the protections of the command center, except the command center itself apparently returned to an earlier point of development, hence the whole vacuum cleaner crap. Ninjor can't come and
Could have
help because
vacuum cleaners
time has
back in the
moved to
day,
before
though.
they ever found him, except the Equitians have access to the Shogun Zords despite them not being discovered for several more years. This will get even more problematic later when one of the teens is restored to their proper age, but not anyone else, raising the question of the Rangers' families, since obviously preteens are going to be under more supervision than the teens, yet they seem to spend a lot more of their time in the command center. What's worse, 5 of the Rangers should not even be here, since Kat is Australian and had just moved to Angel Grove, and Adam, Rocky, and Aisha moved from Stone Canyon last season. Tommy was a new kid in season 1, implying that he wasn't from the city either. The best way to try to write this stuff off is that it's not actually time travel, but a spell. It would certainly fit with the aesthetic of the villains anyway, since Master Vile himself seems to have more mystical knowledge than even Rita or Zed. The spell hasn't actually moved anything through time, but rather regressed the world to a younger state, which would help explain why the citizens of Angel Grove wouldn't have already heard of the Equitians when the actual Power Rangers came around. Hell, when the world is restored to normal, we see Bulk and Skull lose the memory of these events, so again, not so much time travel as much as just age manipulation through magics. The Alien Ranger saga itself was actually a pretty clever way of incorporating more Sentai footage into the show. As you can probably guess, the suit footage comes from Kaku Ranger, which was ninja themed. However, despite them clearly being multicolored ninjas like this, I will admit that as a kid, I was completely fooled. That's primarily because, like I mentioned before about the Die Ranger suits being a radical departure from the expected suit design, this is a similar deal. Very little white in the suits, no mouths on the helmets, a lightning bolt insignia off-center, and most memorable for me at least, the visors. The visors on the helmets are much smaller than on the Mighty Morphin suits, without even an animal shape around it. Compared to the Mighty Morphin suits, they look, for lack of a better term, alien. The downside of the Equitians coming to Earth, however, is that they require hydration to sustain themselves, meaning they often have to travel to fresh water sources in public to rejuvenate themselves, where they attract a lot of attention. Master Vile assembles monsters from throughout the universe to launch a final assault on Earth, or rather mostly suits used in previous monster fights. However, the Alien Rangers are more than a match for the monsters. In the wake of his latest defeat, Master Vile decides to return to his home galaxy. Say what you will about Zed and Rita, at least they're persistent. Master Vile gave up only after a few episodes. Lord Zed expresses his happiness about being in charge again with his expected level of restraint and subtlety.
Yes!
Subtlety.
I never thought I would be happy to see the goody goods triumph, but Golda, I am very, very happy.
Losing Master Vile may have been for the best for the villains, since they then score probably one of the biggest victories ever in the series. Billy and the Equitians develop a device utilizing the Rangers' power coins to restore them to their proper ages. They test it on Billy and return him to normal, causing the aforementioned issue of, what the hell do Billy's parents think of this? That's never brought up. But an attack by Rito and Goldar stops them from restoring the others. Instead of doing the sensible thing and teleporting back to the command center, they run off and get cornered. The villains take the regenerator and the power coins, and for once, they waste no time. Zed and Rita annihilate the power coins, reducing them to dust. So, once again, the Rangers are screwed. Eventually, Zed sends Rito and Goldar to the tunnels beneath the command center to plant a bomb to finally blow it up. Remember, the command center has been standing for thousands of years, but has been in various states of construction, as we saw on Wild West Rangers, so there's previous infrastructure that it's been built on top of, which means it's also a weak point in the command center's defenses. Zordon's been busy as well, and has finally come up with a plan to restore the world to normal, as well as give the Rangers new powers. He plans to use the MacGuffin crystal. Wait a second. The Zeo crystal? You mean it actually has some significance? Yes, in a brilliant move, the writers established the Zeo crystal early so the viewers knew what they were talking about, and are going to use it to set up the next season. The 5 unrestored kids will be sent through time to locate their own Zeo subcrystal and return them to the command center. For some reason, the Zeo crystals have locked onto each of the Rangers' heritage and ancestry, and thus they must overcome personal issues, blah blah blah, heart of the cards. The season comes to a close in the 2-part Hog Day afternoon. Rita and Zed summon their equivalent from Aquitar, named Hydro Hog, to deal with the alien Rangers. Meanwhile, Goldar and Rito, after several episodes of wandering around the tunnels under the command center, finally arm the bomb in the proper spot. Rita instructs them to steal the Zeo crystal once it's assembled. Aisha, during her quest, decides to stay in the alternate time period to help the animals suffering from a plague with her veterinary skills, established earlier in the season, while letting a local girl named Tanya take her part of the Zeo crystal back to the Rangers. It's a major disappointment to see her character kinda shoved aside like this without even letting the actual actress for Aisha have a proper send-off. Kimberly got a storyline, while Aisha's last episode got her at a carnival. Well, actually, I suppose that could have been worse then. Apparently, Karen Ashley was told that she'd get a proper goodbye scene with everyone else, but that never ended up happening. Hydro Hog, since he's the equivalent of Zed and Rita, is actually pretty damn powerful, to the point where he actually stops the Shogun Zord's finishing move. However, that reaches an anti-climax when they use the Shogun Mega Falcon Zord to defeat him. I don't know if it completely destroys him or just sends him home, but hey, it resolves the episode. Of course, leaving Aisha where she is screws with the time stream a bit, but whatever.
Aisha, your decision to remain has altered the course of your family's history, and you will find that they have joined you when the world is returned to the future.
That does not even begin to make sense in the slightest, not even with my speculation about how it works. The Zeo crystal is fully reassembled and the time streams return to normal, bringing everyone back to their proper ages, including Tanya. They bid farewell to the Equation Rangers and celebrate being back to normal. Alpha and Zordon talking with Tanya to get her acclimated to the new time period. However, their victory is short-lived. Goldar and Rito immediately come up from under the command center, swipe the Zeo crystal, and teleport away. The bomb goes off, causing the command center to start exploding. Billy tries to help protect things, but he gets a face full of energy, and Alpha teleports the Rangers out of the command center to save them. And so the season, along with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, ends with the command center blowing up.
Oh no.
Season 3 is where the magic versus technology theme that I've theorized about starts to shift, partially due to the nature of their new powers. Instead of Billy creating new devices all the time to save the day against the spells of the villains, more and more the show builds a mythology of ancient powers to call upon. The ninja powers are a more spiritual force than what they had before, and the quest for the Zeo crystal by the various Rangers tends to be more about a test of character than anything else. Billy still uses many devices to combat Rita and Zed, but a lot of them are focused near the end of the season when he's trying to devise various ways to keep the alien
from the
Rangers
beginning
hydrated,
to
or
Power
earlier
Ranger
when he
ended,
used devices to rescue
then he
Kimberly
needs a
or
medal.
the force field to protect Kat. And the thing to note, though, is that the tech more often than not fails. I read it as a sign that it's time for them to move beyond the dynamic they had before. Season 3 is arguably the best of the 3 in terms of writing. There were far fewer sillier episodes than the first 2 seasons, with both Kimberly's departure and the Alien Ranger saga being serialized. The storylines, while occasionally delving into the realms of the goofy, were pretty strong and were great at keeping the viewer's attention. Some have complained that the season contained far too many multi-parters and that the changing status quo was a turnoff, but personally I liked it. There was enough filler for a status quo to actually exist at times, but not so many that the season would get dull. People have said that when Rita and Zed got married, it ruined Lord Zed, basically turning him into a second banana loser that often took the backseat to other villains. However, I have to vehemently disagree. The truth is,
I like that he gives
Lord
his
Zed
opinion
was
to
starting to suck at his job.
the commentator.
Don't get me wrong, he was still as menacing as before, but he was falling into the same rut that Rita had fallen into. He would make a monster, send it out, and it'd be defeated in 10 minutes. The truth was that as time went on, he was simply not succeeding as a villain. But then Rita and Zed got married. Now, while Zed's personality did change a bit, it wasn't really all that different. He was still angry at failure, and their strategies against the Rangers became more elaborate, though with the occasional stupid one that always crops up when you're trying to come up with plans on a weekly basis to eliminate your enemies. However, despite him cracking a few more jokes and acting in a slightly more silly manner in his gesticulations, he was still scary and powerful. And really, what was on Zed's list of successes while he worked solo? He destroyed the Green Ranger powers. Okay, fair enough. But what happened when he married Rita? They destroyed the original Zords and powers, destroyed the new powers, although whether that destroyed the Ninja Zords is unclear and the fate of the Shogun Zords is unknown, entered the command center, and almost killed Kimberly, for that matter, blew up the command center, took Ninjor prisoner, and later helped destroy the Machine Empire. I hate to say it, people, but Zed was better off with Rita than without her. In one episode, Goldar discovers the truth about how Rita got Zed to marry her and gets Finster to create an antidote. However, when he tries to use it, it does nothing. It could be that Finster didn't actually give an antidote, but the implication of the episode is that Zed actually does love Rita, which kind of makes sense considering, as we saw last season, his ideal mate is Rita. Bulk and Skull start demonstrating more of a sense of responsibility and morality in the season. Yes, they do bumble around quite a bit and still verbally make fun of the teens, but here they actually start caring about what they're doing. For example, in one episode, they mock an inscription on a lamp owned by Adam, but when they almost damage this family heirloom, they show genuine concern about their actions. While some of the time it's simply fear of retribution from Lieutenant Stone, other times it looks like they actually care about helping people now that they're in a position of authority. For example, there's this really inspired bit where they spot what looks like a group of kids drowning.
We gotta save them! Hold on, kids! We'll save you!
Okay. It's like to save others, we have to hurt others.
When Kimberly is stolen, they happily try to help recover it. Their relationship to the teens is radically different. The teens support them when they decide to join the junior police force and actually admit at several points that they're friends. Sure, they're not hanging out together, but there's no longer antagonism between the groups. Bulk and Skull can see them as dorks while not being jerks to them any longer. Plus, while they remain ineffective in most cases, we do see a couple of occasions where the two actually kind of triumph, like catching the car thief from Follow That Cab. There are a lot of good Bulk and Skull bits this season, including their training to become junior police officers, along with a catchy tune called Shape It Up.
Gotta swim a giant lake, shape it up, Bulk and Skull, shape it up, shape it up, Bulk and Skull.
Unfortunately, the song has never been released on its own, so there isn't any clean copy of it anywhere. I so want a copy of a full version. During the Alien Ranger saga, the kid versions of the two reverted back to how they were in Season 1, idiots and bullies, which really showed off how much they had changed over the course of these few seasons.
Parents will thank us. Kids will love us. Lieutenant Stone will promote us. You're amazing. I'm in awe.
I want to see where they are right now, like all the actors.
Stone, the police
then
officer
and now.
them,
I'm gonna search
some new
and
dynamics
see.
to their situations. Most of the time, they fail miserably in his eyes, but you've got to give them credit for trying and wanting to do well. Stone himself doesn't really get much in terms of development, but that's because he serves as a foil to the two. It's especially interesting to see Bulk and Skull respecting an authority figure to such a degree. While they may have joined the force to attract women, they don't really pursue that goal after they complete their training. They care more about earning Lieutenant Stone's respect. Lieutenant Stone would remain a part of the secondary cast through Turbo, for better or worse, and helps the two along with their character development. But that's something we can get into next time. Overall, Season 3 is great and brought a fantastic conclusion to the Mighty Morphin era, with a proper season finale and a cliffhanger to boot. Next time, the most radical change to the franchise yet, as we go Zeo.
Oh, there's more? Or is this like the last? I'm not sure. I think he said there is, right? Oh, I'm just Oh, oh. Of course, I was young, right, when I watched this. So obviously they're old now, or yeah, some of them would have passed already. Oh no. Ah, why did I see this comment? But anyways, thank you for the request, and I still want to see now and then video, and let's react to it to see where the actors are right now. So let me know what you guys thought. If you like this video, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.